Hey, my name is Alex Fenske. I'm the lead agent for the Chicago Southland Homes team here at Keller Williams. And I wanted to talk to you a little bit about what we're building and the path that we're on and what opportunities that presents for the people that are going there with us. So, one thing that's important to know is that Keller Williams is a company of models and systems. And what I mean by that is the way that we teach and the way that we learn is by taking the examples of people that have already gone where we want to go, figuring out what they did, documenting that, and then turning around and just doing the same thing. There's no sense in reinventing the wheel if you're trying to build a big business. And we're in an environment where everyone teaches each other and uses these proven models, so that it's hard enough anyway to build a big business, and yet it's so much easier when you already know the path. And so I want to take you through something that's called the 7-level organizational model. Now, this was first documented back in 2003 when Gary Keller and his team wrote The Millionaire Real Estate Agent. They went to a couple dozen of the most successful, most profitable, large real estate teams and figured out what their org charts looked like and how they got there. Where'd you start and what was the path to get to this? And they figured out what all of them did wrong, what all of them did right, and they documented that model. They've continued researching the best practices and the evolution of that model over the last 20 years. It hasn't changed much. And so what I'm going to do right now is just show you how it starts and where it eventually leads, so you can see how truly big something like this can be. So first off, most agents in real estate today start as what we call a solo agent. That means that you're one person, you're an independent business owner, and you do all things for all customers. And so that's your org chart right there. There it is. That's you. It's kind of weird because there's not many businesses like that. If you think about a restaurant, what restaurant opens up and it's the owner, and the owner, seats you, greets you and seats you, takes your order, gives you your water, cooks the food, brings it out to you, cleans the restaurant after. I've never seen that. And so this is just sort of a little bit of a unique business model, and it comes with a lot of challenges. There's a lot of different tasks that someone needs to do in order to be that person. And there's a wide variety of tasks. Some of them are sales activities. Some of them are paperwork and administrative sort of activities that require attention to detail. People usually aren't good at both of those things. They're on the opposite ends of a spectrum. And so sometimes someone will actually get to the point where they're really doing really well at all that, despite there being so many different things to do. And you get to a point where you go, hey, I only have so many hours in a day, and I can't grow any further without introducing some more people to the business. And at that point, the level 2 of this is where you have the lead agent, and then you have an executive assistant or an operations manager that you hire, who then begins doing all the non-sales activities for the business. And that frees up this agent to begin doing more sales activities and get some time back. And that produces more income. And so everybody wins. That's level 2. So here's 1, here's level 2. Level 3 is where you're going to hire this executive assistant is now going to hire another administrative person, and that is typically going to be a transaction coordinator who specializes in all of the things that need to happen between the time a contract is signed and when a closing happens, because there's even more non-sales work that needs to be done. So now you have the lead agent who's doing all the sales work, and you have 2 people doing all the non-sales work. At that point, and only after then, does it become wise to add other sales activities into the business. And so there, we found that the next couple of best steps at level 4 is you still have these roles, and now you're going to have probably a showing agent who's going to take over doing the showings for all the buyer clients. And then you're going to have an inside salesperson who's going to help to cultivate leads over time until they're ready for the lead agent to work with them. All right, so this is level 4. And one of these may come before the other, and yet that's the next step of growth. Now, there's a few more iterations of how we get up to the level 7. And yet what I want to show you is what this eventually can become. So in its largest form, and there's businesses today that are doing this, in this level 7 organization, what you end up with is you end up with a CEO who is actually not the founder. It's not that original person up here. The founder may be off creating other business opportunities and creating new leadership opportunities for the people in this business. That's typically what's going on with this person. They've hired a CEO, and then the executive assistant who started as an executive assistant is now a director of operations and has an entire operations team reporting to them, composed of transaction coordinators, listing managers, probably some marketing managers, things like that. Over here, you have the inside sales division, and you have a director of inside sales. And that person is managing a team of inside salespeople. Some are doing handling all the inbound leads. Some are handling the outbound calling to create leads where there weren't any. And this person, again, is now leading an entire department doing that. Over here, you have your outside sales division. And so you have a director of your outside sales team, and they're going to have a listing agent. They'll probably have several buyer agents. And then inside of that, your buyer agents, a couple of them may have a showing agent. So you have a lot of leadership opportunity that's happening here because you have a lot of people that are leading others. And what's important about this for you is that every circle on this chart started as one of these circles here. So when you enter a business that's growing, and this is the path and the eventual vision of where you get to, these directors and that CEO are typically people that come from within. They've been a part of the business. They've helped it grow over time. They've done a great job at their role, and they've earned into that next opportunity. And so if you're somebody who's looking for leadership opportunity and personal growth, this is the path to get on. Now, one last thing that I'll show you that's really neat is what's happened in order to allow a business like this to get even bigger. And that is, we found out over time, this has developed over the last 15 years or so, we found out over time that this whole section of the business, these two departments, can function at their existing location and do their jobs from other places. What that means is that it's only the outside salespeople who physically are going out to houses, going out to appointments with clients. What we realized is that these people can turn on their jobs in a different geographic area entirely. And what we call that is expansion. And eventually, the largest businesses in our organization today have expansion divisions with a director of expansion. And then they will have a bunch of, and I'll tell you how many that is, a bunch of expansion locations with expansion partners, and sometimes entire outside sales teams in other geographic areas. And you're running the operations and you're running the inside sales and lead cultivation from the original hub. And now you can grow this business to anywhere. Now, right now, as of today, the largest one of these in our business has 93 expansion locations, closed over $3 billion in volume last year, and $89 million in gross commission income for the team. There's a lot of opportunity here, and there is no ceiling. So hopefully you can see a path to leadership growth, which ultimately involves personal growth, new skills, and a lot of learning, and a pretty awesome career. And so hopefully you can see where this all leads for you, and we'd be excited to talk with you further about how you can become a part of this with us.